Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we're working on tonight. An early morning raid on St. Croix, an exclusive interview with Senator O'Reilly, and your winning lottery numbers. Details on these stories and more coming up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a pre-dawn raid has netted 2 suspects on St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small has more.
Thank you, Jerome. Police made an early pre-dawn raid early this morning in Concordia, LaGrange, and Montbijou. Arrested 30-year-old Juan Ledesma and 57-year-old Zachariah Lincoln. Firearm charges, ammunition charges, and etc. Ledesma, you might remember, he allegedly shot himself in his thigh about a month and a half ago in front of a nightclub in Hannah's Rest. You might remember that. Also, Lincoln, remember him? He allegedly shot his 31-year-old son in Montbijou. That case turned over to the domestic violence group. Remember that? Well, right now, let's go to Public Information Officer Melody Rames for the rest of the information on this case.
Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives executed search and arrest warrants before dawn Thursday, May 14th, and arrested 2 suspects on weapons charges and other criminal acts. Arrested were Juan Ledesma of Concordia Manor and Zachariah Lincoln of Estate Montbijou. Ledesma, who was born on St. Croix and is 30 years old, was charged with first-degree reckless endangerment, unauthorized possession of a firearm, and possession or sale of ammunition in connection with an incident that occurred on March 7th. According to police, Ledesma was shot in his right thigh near a nightclub in Estate Hannah's Rest. The case was investigated by the detectives who found ammunition in Ledesma's vehicle. After Ledesma was treated at the Juan F. Louis Hospital, doctors told police that the gunshot wound he received was consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Ballistic reports confirmed that the bullet recovered from Ledesma's thigh was also consistent with the ammunition that was found in Ledesma's car. Zachariah Lincoln, who was born in Antigua, was charged with assault in the first degree, possession of a dangerous weapon during the commission of a crime of violence, and possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute in connection with an incident that occurred on March 23rd in Estate Montbijou. The Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives said the 57-year-old Lincoln shot his 31-year-old son in the abdomen in the Montbijou home where they both reside. Bail was set for Ledesma at $50,000 and $150,000 for Lincoln. Both suspects were unable to post their bail, and they were remanded to the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility pending additional court action.
Thank you, Melody. So again, arrested in an early morning raid in Concordia, LaGrange, and Montbijou, 30-year-old Juan Ledesma and 57-year-old Zachariah Lincoln. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And in other news stories tonight, 2 St. Thomas teenagers are in custody this evening after they allegedly stole some electronics and jewelry. Let's go to Public Information Officer Melody Rames once again for details on this story.
Police on St. Thomas arrested 2 17-year-old minors and charged them with burglary in the 3rd degree. Police said stolen jewelry and electronic equipment was recovered in one of the minors' home where he lives with his mother. According to the initial report, the 55-year-old burglary victim told police he and the 2 minors were in his Charlotte Amalie home at about 10:30 a.m. Monday, May 11th, and then they all left. He locked and secured his home, but at about 12:30 p.m., a concerned citizen called Police Emergency 911, reporting a burglary in progress. Police responded and detained several suspects based on descriptions from the caller. Police investigated the burglary and spoke to witnesses. They discovered several items, including a PlayStation, video camera, a safe, and a gold wedding band stored in bags in the living room of the apartment of one of the minors' mother. The minors were arrested, and the case is being followed up by the Juvenile Bureau detective.
Thanks, Melody. And the Virgin Islands Senate has been extremely busy these days. News Channel 8's Wes Small has this exclusive interview with Senator Nellie O'Reilly.
Okay, lots of action yesterday in the Senate session with nominations, so forth, and we're going to get right to it. I'm here with Senator Nellie O'Reilly, first-term senator, and of course she heads many committees, financial services, or not head the committees, but she's a member, financial services, infrastructure, and consumer affairs. That's why these lovely people here, they're her shadow, and some of her workers behind the scenes, and you see the Frosted Flakes boxes, and she's right on the prices. She's always been a stalwart to keep the prices on an even keel, so we're going to get into that. Education, youth and culture, labor and agriculture, and economic development, energy and technology committees, a lot of stuff, Senator O'Reilly. And yesterday, you weren't really happy with at least one of the nominations involving Conrad Francois as the head of lottery. And you had some issues about that.
I did, and so I want to make sure we correct that it wasn't a nomination that came before the Senate. It was just a press release that the governor sent out saying that he had nominated Conrad Francois as director of the lottery. And I was disappointed because I was pleased with Lenise Shomo, the lady who was first elected by the governor, who has brought to the light a lot of the problems within the lottery, specifically the issues related to Southland Gaming and the fact that they owe the government $22 million, as well as $4 million in gross receipts. And I felt that she was committed to go after the money, and she wanted to correct a wrong. And to see now that she's is being replaced, it kind of asks the question, or begs the question, whether or not it was a retaliation against her for taking the positions that she took. I can only hope that Mr. Francois is going to pick up where she left off, and that he is going to be serious and committed about going after this $22 million, because I plan to make the $22 million an issue for the rest of my term.
You are going after that. You're going to investigate that with your office here and find out if indeed they do owe the money, and if they can get that money and back into the
well, I don't think that whether they owe the money is a question at all. The Attorney General has said that the money is owed. And if you look at the agreement, it is silent as to who pays the commission to the retailers. And I think it is silent intentionally because they wanted to be able to use the ambiguity in the contract to their advantage. I don't have there's no doubt in my mind that the money is owed to the government. Okay. And I don't want to see that settled either. They are making a lot of money off the people of the Virgin Islands on VLTs. They continue to bring machines to St. Thomas that are not approved by lottery. They changed the control, the main monitoring system without the lottery's permission. So now the lottery has absolutely no way to confirm that the revenues that they are collecting and what they're paying to the government is accurate.
Okay. Also, for years and years, we all know it, that there's Puerto Rican lottery tickets sold on this island. And, we can't do that in Puerto Rico. You can't sell Virgin Island tickets in Puerto Rico. It's against the law. Do you plan to start cracking down more on the vendors who sell Puerto Rican tickets? I mean, you can go to Sunny Isle right now and buy Puerto Rican tickets.
I know, and I know that is something that the lottery and the police has worked on in the past. And I know that one of the things that the lottery, at least through Ms. Shomo, was trying to do was to make the traditional lottery more attractive. Locally, so that people wouldn't feel, the need to buy lottery tickets out of the Puerto Rico lottery. And I think what I have to do now as an elected official is to remind people that it is illegal, and to remind the people of the Virgin Islands that they must invest locally, buy the traditional lottery, because it supports education and other things within our government structure, whereas the lottery in Puerto Rico supports the Puerto Rican government.
That's right.
When we come back from this break, we'll continue our interview with Senator O'Reilly as she discusses Police Commissioner James McCall.